Welcome back, guys, to Act 3. We just got out of Supergirl, the second DCU movie. Very controversial ratings. So we're going to go through our thoughts. We're going to start with spoiler-free, just general thoughts on our ratings, and then we'll go through the movie and basically discuss the plot and then branch off wherever and talk about that terrible third act, which we'll get to. But make sure to follow the Instagram and the TikTok. We're also going to be making a worst letterbox reviews of all time video dropping ideally this weekend. I'll probably be posting this Friday, so opening day for Supergirl. And then this weekend we'll be getting through that. So I'm going to start with my general thoughts. I gave it a 6.5 out of 10. And my thoughts start 3 years ago where James Gunn announced that they were doing a Woman of Tomorrow movie based off of a comic that I love. That is a beautiful comic that is basically visually think Guardians 2 and like the Heiser Project Hail Mary. And that is the main distinction that you can see before you go into the movie, is that it does not look like the book. And the book is, and usually that wouldn't matter, but the visual identity of the book is like one of the first things you say or think of whenever you see or discuss or read the book. Like that is one of the top things. And we were just watching in the line for the Whataburger that Trip's eating. We were watching a video where basically Craig Gillespie, who is the director of this movie, a director that I love. This is his worst project, by the way.
Amazing director.
One of my personal favorite directors. So he basically read the script before he read the book, which is fine because I think he eventually did read the book. The point is, whenever he read that, he saw the script and saw the darkness and the themes and the tones, and that's fair. But what went into his brain was the visual identity that we get in Supergirl, which is nothing like the book. And that's not good because it looks really ugly for like a couple planets, and both of those planets have like 20 to 30 minutes each. However, the rest is not as bad. But yeah, my main consensus is that the first two acts are like really good, to the point where I was sitting there watching for the first hour wondering why this was so controversial. And I still think it's dumb because people say it's overall mid, and I don't think it is. I think you can really enjoy the first hour of this movie. And then the last act just has an insanely steep fall off that the further away I got from that movie, the more that we were just driving, and I was just thinking back and I was like, yeah, no, that was like really bad. There's only one good part, I would say, in the third act. But of course, Millie Alcock as Supergirl is great. That's an amazing comic book casting just overall. Jason Momoa as Lobo was really good. He had a couple weird scenes, but him and the performance and the character is good. Felt very accurate, and the CGI is good. I don't have any problems with that. With the but then there's some bad green screen at the end, and the ending is just really bad from just a general quality standpoint, and also a huge character decision. Like the climax for the two characters, Ruthie and Supergirl, is done poorly and is very antithetical to the entire movie. But the beginning is really good and really fun, and you get really good like just general DC stuff with Krypton. It's not spoilers, it's in the trailers. All that stuff is good. David Sweat as Superman, peak always. But yeah, those are my general thoughts. Bit of a disappointment because I really love Craig Gillespie, and it was edited. It was cut to shit. It was cut really bad. Like, this was not the director's cut. Anyway.
Right. Yeah, there's also a really bad cut in that third act. There is one that I forgot to mention earlier, which is fine because I'm mentioning it here. There's a really bad cut towards the end that we can talk about whenever we get into spoilers. But yeah, my initial first watch thoughts on it is I gave it a 6.25 out of 10. I do my scales in 0.25s, and I just kind of round it from there, up or down. I don't round it. I just give it that. Anyway, 6.25 for 3 stars. I felt like this movie very much fit as a 3-star movie because there's some really cool like highs in this movie. Some really epic moments with with Lobo, and I personally thought Krim was pretty cool. I thought they actually did really well with him as a villain. But en masse, I don't really like most of this movie. Like, it's not one of those for me. For the first two acts, I actually don't think it's like I feel like it suffers from this kind of wanting to be like the Guardians movies. I feel like I got the sense that this is like Craig Gillespie doing his best James Gunn impression, but not really succeeding in doing so. One of those, as you mentioned, is that James Gunn knows how to be intentional, or whether or not he's the one designing all the scenes and the planets and everything or not. James Gunn movies do really good at being absolutely gorgeous. Like they're like the most gorgeous comic book movies we have, and some of the most gorgeous movies we have in general. But Craig Gillespie, whether it be I will say for one, he has a certain style that really elevates Cruella and really elevates I, Tanya. It definitely peaks in Cruella. I haven't seen Lars and the Real Girl, and I haven't seen Dumb Money, but I've seen his two movies that are female centered. So I had really high hopes for how that would work with Supergirl. When I heard that he was directing, Supergirl, I was really excited. I was like, okay, yeah, based on I, Tanya and Cruella, you can get a really good idea that this is going to be incredible and that this is going to have those like quick camera pans that are so iconic to Cruella, and the really good like soundtrack and the that just like really like rebellious like character. And obviously you do get that in this movie because it is Supergirl, but I did feel like it kind of lacked in some ways in that in comparison to like a Cruella. Like I really thought that going from I, Tanya to Cruella to Supergirl, I thought that this was going to be where he really peaks in his directorial style. But I do feel like his attempt at making kind of a James Gunn space movie and not really focusing on Supergirl as much in some situations held that back and made me it was just a little underwhelming from such an amazing director with such a good fit as it seemed. Didn't really give me the same energy that you see in those other two that I mentioned, and those two are like Cruella. Is one of my favorite Disney movies of all time. Yeah, I think it's incredible. I think even though it came out in COVID year and was one of those live action remakes, it really just like has this amazing style that's just incredible.
It's 30 minutes longer than Supergirl too, by the way.
Yeah,
Supergirl's too short.
Very unfortunate. A backstory, yeah, an origin story about a character who really doesn't need to have more fleshing out. Gets gets 30 minutes longer, which also held back this movie. I feel like it's an hour 30-minute long runtime that did hold it back because there was some aspects of one character in particular and her relationship with Supergirl did not hit the same way. I haven't read the comic book, so I don't have that prior knowledge and that prior connection to these characters in the same way that you would. But I did feel like that the movie didn't do an amazing job at really like captivating your interest and your feelings when it comes to that character and your relationship with that character. And yeah, other than that, I thought obviously like Millie Alcock as Supergirl is incredible. Like she's a really good casting. Honestly, there was a point in this movie where I kind of got this feeling of, oh God, is this going to be the first time that I see like a movie that is so centered around one character that I don't come out saying, yeah, she's obviously the best part of this movie. Like I did, like you do with like a Superman, even though most people like Superman, you're going to come out and you're going to say David Cornsweet's amazing as Superman, unless you're a Snyder bot. With like a Cruella or like a Wonka, like you're going to come out and you're going to be like, okay, well, they carried the movie. Towards the middle of this movie was like, I don't know if like I'm going to come out saying that she's like that incredible, but then it progresses and it's like, no, yeah, she's perfect as Supergirl. So like obviously it does get me excited for her role in future films and the DCU in general, but as a standalone movie, was pretty underwhelmed by it. Unfortunately, went into it feeling that way as well because this entire year, all the media and everyone who has known anything about this movie has like torn into it. And Millie Alcock has not had an amazing press run. She hasn't had a very likable press run. She's gotten some hate for that, which I don't necessarily condone, but it just kind of added to this stigma around the movie that was unfortunate. That a movie that like we all were, I feel like we all were really excited to jump into whenever Superman came out, whenever it teased her at the end of the movie. And I do think it was fine, but like just didn't really deliver on that year-long wait. So we'll be waiting another year for Man of Tomorrow.
Yeah, I think everything you said there is really fair. And yeah, you touched on the villain there. I did forget to mention. Good villain. But yeah, it was just cut. It was too short. And Craig Gillespie, I'm glad you talked about that. That is the biggest disappointment for this movie because that's like one of my favorite personal directors that I think is extremely underrated. And he knows how to do like a female-led movie. And I did not feel any of that passion or energy. I only felt like it's like the only stuff that he personally directed were the scenes where it's just like character development for Kara, and those scenes are amazing. That's the best stuff in the movie, obviously. You get two specific scenes of that and just her character in general, but it's like everything else did not feel like he was carrying his passion for. And of course the visual identity is a big problem. But yeah, we can start going in order basically. So those are our spoiler thoughts. If you haven't seen the movie, yeah, don't watch the spoiler
thoughts.
Yeah, but we're gonna get to it. So it starts out where she's on a planet and she's getting drunk. Fair enough. Because she has, she's got a really shitty life because she was on Krypton. This kind of trusts that you know a bit of Supergirl lore, but it does reveal it to you. So she was on Krypton when it blew up, and she had to watch her parents die. So she's just trying to cope, and she's just not like Superman. She's not like Clark. She has a scene where she mentions that. So she's just drinking her feelings away. And then you get to the villain scene, which is basically Inglourious Bastards trip, like you said.
Yeah.
And I thought the scene was great. The villain is really good. He just goes in and he slaughters his family. And he's like, and he's really intimidating. Like, he's tall, bro. This guy's tall.
Yeah.
He's a big dude. So he goes in and he kills him because for some reason the brother just runs out screaming. And then the parents start screaming. And so then this girl is like, damn, this guy killed my family. And then she just wants revenge. And the writing and the character arcs for Kara and for Ruthie are really good, but I do kind of agree with what you said that they don't get enough time to flesh out their relationship. And it's like seems like their relationship is solely built on the scenes where they are arguing about the ethics of the movie. And that's not enough to make us care about anything other than just the morality in it, not the actual relationship, and care about the characters, which is why you needed more time. But after that, she gets in, she fights that dude that takes Ruthie's sword, right? Because Ruthie goes in and she's in the bar and she's like, I need help because she just wants to kill Krem. Basically, she wants to go track him down and kill him. And Supergirl's
on her Moana stuff.
Moana?
The whole movie. She's like,
yeah, you're right.
And Ruthie of Matanui.
My parents are really nice and I need to kill Krem, basically. Yeah, she does have a speech that she does. That's true. Anyway, so she goes in, does that speech, and then no one wants to do it. Someone takes a sword, Supergirl helps her, and so she's like, Supergirl can help me. But Supergirl's like, I don't really want to do all that. And then Krem, I thought this was weird. He just kind of pulled up and shot the dog and took her ship and dipped.
It was very odd how that worked. I thought he was just going to be stealing the batteries from it, but I guess every character in this movie knows Grimm, and every time they hear his name, they're like, bro, you got to pull up. They're after you. You should come, mess with them. And he pulls up, messes with them, and then leaves and, doesn't actually do anything. He's really just like Thanos to that one dude.
Yeah, that's so true. I think, yeah, I mean, Krim does have really good villain moments that we'll get to, but
Well, yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
I
Like,
think I think he's
no
good.
hate to the guy. That was an amazing
Good
performance and
performance too.
amazing
Yeah,
villain.
like really
Yeah.
creepy. Honestly, I
I
loved
feel
it.
like he's just a much better version of Ronan from the first Guardians movie. I
That's an
think that
amazing.
is, yeah.
It's a great comparison, actually. Yeah, because Ronan Loki worst part of that movie.
Honestly, yeah, like weird to think
Weak.
about. He really is, but
He
Krim
didn't.
is really good.
Yeah, Krim went out and did the stuff that Ronan we just heard that he did, but with
Yeah,
Krim we actually see the
exactly.
slaughtering. That's a
Yeah.
great comparison. Yeah. Anyway, so then Supergirl, after Crypto gets shot in the book, Crypto dies, and I honestly would not. I really don't care that they didn't kill Crypto. I think it'd be kind of crazy after Superman if they just killed him,
Yeah,
unless they were
I
going to go
agree.
really dark with this movie. So I really don't think that it's like them pussying out and not killing the dog. I think it's
Yeah.
fair that they didn't kill Crypto in their second movie.
Mhm.
That's fine. Um, so yeah, Crypto needs to get better. So Kara goes off. She calls this bus, and then Ruthie sneaks on. Ruthie is like the sneakiest person
Oh
ever,
my
by the
god!
way.
Every
Like,
single I laughed out loud in that final act whenever she was like, "Oh yeah, I heard you were leaving, so I snuck onto the cargo pod." I was
it's
like, "Oh my god, bro!"
it's like
Genuinely,
whenever Obi-Wan sneaks onto Padme's ship and goes to Mustafar, then you just post it up. That's Ruthie in every scene.
it's yeah,
Yeah,
it's so goofy. Very, I will say, very stereotypical for the type of relationship they have for the character to do that.
yeah,
Like Up,
um, yeah, true. It's not really that big of a complaint, but it's just kind of funny.
right?
Anyway, so then Kara's on this bus, and this is another point. There's aliens in like every scene.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good because in a lot of space, even in like mainly the Star Wars Disney Plus shows, this is a big complaint where you're like supposed to be engulfed in space. It's not really supposed to be Earth based, but for example, in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show on Tatooine, there's no aliens and there's like 200 humans, and it sucks. And a lot of the Disney Plus shows have that problem. There's just not enough aliens. Everyone's human. But in Supergirl, there's so many aliens. It's really good, and the designs look great. The CGI is on point. The prosthetics are amazing, and the voice, like they met us with the voices, it looks really good. So she gets on this bus, just full of glup shittos, I guess,
Yep.
and then they get attacked.
Literally.
Wait, why? Someone poop?
No. No. No, there's that one character that's from Star Wars that makes an
Oh yeah,
appearance.
yeah.
I don't know if that was on purpose or not, or
I
what
think it was an accident.
that
But
was.
yeah, she calls Ruthie's mom a whore or whatever. Rude
Yeah.
alien.
No, Ruthie called her mom a whore whenever she put her bag on Batman.
Oh,
And
gotcha.
she like stepped on her face.
True. So anyway, Ruthie's like sneaking, like getting back, and so she sits down next to Kara, who's trying to go find Krim, and she's like, "We're friends," and Kara's like, "No, we're not." Anyway, pirates pull up, pirates that can teleport with pixels, and it
Yeah.
looks really cool. And there's a
Yeah.
really good action scene where Supergirl, and she doesn't have her powers because she's not by a yellow sun yet, so she's
Mhm.
still like red sun basically, and so she's just kind of fighting, and she likes it because she feel like once you fight with the yellow sun, you kind of don't even care whenever you get hit, which is like she gets stabbed in that one scene and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm bleeding. Like I feel like you build up a durability to where that doesn't like hurt,
Mhm.
you know. So anyway, she grabs one of the little teleporter thingies off of one of the pirates, and so then you get a really good scene where she's like teleport fighting all over the place. And then, but like she's really bad at it. And there's a scene where she tries to punch someone and they disappear, and she just smacks some dude on the bus in the face as hard as she can. And that was really funny. And then there's also like that little Babu Frick looking thing,
Yeah.
the little dude. What's up with that?
He
I didn't
was
like that.
I would have like I thought he was I thought he was like fine, but I also feel like if I experienced Babu Frick, then I would have been like, who is this Babu Frick poser, bro? But
Real.
like since it was just him, now I'm gonna go watch Star Wars and I'm gonna see Babu Frick and the other Liptonites or whatever they're called.
And Zellens.
And Zellens, yeah. And then I'm gonna be like, nah, those are just That's just whatever his name is. I really want. Actually, I want to find out what his name is because I want to see what the actor is because that was a very
recognizable voice.
It was a very recognizable.
First DCU Glub Shido. Congratulations, James Gunn.
That's actually awesome. That's actually an achievement. I feel like
that's the best thing that's happened all year.
Yeah,
DCU got its first Glub Shido.
Thank God.
Yeah. Anyway, so then she gets eventually. They grab the teleporting thing off her, then they lock her in the airlock and they shoot her out. But then the yellow sun comes around the planet, and that scene is sick. She gets her powers for the first time. She blitzes through all of them, and then she pulls up in front of the ship. The scene where the ship is like shooting her with the blast, and she's just like getting hit through space. That was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then she flies over to the yellow sun. She powers up, and she just destroys their ship.
Yeah, has a really awesome laser fight moment that was sick.
Yeah, they shot their giant blast, and she just
What's that a reference to? There's an anime that is known for
that gay sex.
What?
Docking?
No.
You're thinking of the escape pod.
Oh, wait, yeah. Wait, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
When they fight with the
escape pod reference.
Yeah. Anyway.
It is.
And then there's a lot of weird cuts this movie. For example, you get a shot where she that shot we just described where she laser mogs him, and then the next cut is them walking on a planet into a store. It's a little weird. It's laser mogging.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the technical term. It's in the script. But
Supergirl laser mogs, teleporters, pirates.
Yeah. And then they go into a store, and Ruthie gets that little bubble suit thing.
I hated that.
Necessary thing in the movie, maybe.
Yeah, I hated that so much. I thought it was so stupid.
It's like the scene that would have been a perfect scene to just have a bunch of dialogue, like fun dialogue between Kara and Ruthie to make me care about their relationship.
And they could have had a Goodwill Hunting scene, like the little gift shop scene in Goodwill Hunting, except not romantic.
I hope not. It's a kid.
Yeah, and they're both girls.
I'm pretty sure Supergirl's bi, but the kid.
Oh, in that case.
Reviews. But anyway, so then I don't think she's developed enough in DC lore.
I agree.
Yeah. Anyway, so they get out of the shop after not having enough good dialogue other than one really corny joke about the suit. And then the stupid bubble suit that comes back up. And then where do they go after that? Is that where they go to the bar where she arm wrestles the dude?
Yes.
Yeah. So then they go to that bar to find, because like you mentioned, which I didn't even think about, everybody knows Karim. Like just everybody.
Yeah, everyone.
Galaxy. And it's not like he's this ruler of this planet or anything. He's just this shit pirate. Like
he's just a dude.
It's like if everybody knew like Yondu in Marvel. It's like if someone pulled up to Earth and went up to Doctor Strange and he was like, Yondu?
Yeah, honestly.
I was gonna make a Hondo comparison in Star Wars, but low-key everybody would probably know Hondo. So
yeah,
that's more of like a joke, and Hondo's not like. Anyway,
Hondo kind of like breaks. He's kind of like Deadpool, though.
You're right. Hondo is the Deadpool of Star Wars, actually.
Mm.
So she arm wrestles the one, which is just kind of weird. Like it's smart, I guess. It makes sense, but I don't know. It was kind of corny, I guess.
And then one dude comes out and he's like, "Nah, I won her," like for no reason at all. And then she breaks his arm, and then everyone's like, "We're gonna kill you."
Yeah, sure. I don't know
what happened when they were writing that scene.
I don't know why he, because I get if he thought that the person might lose, and then they really don't want to lose, so he goes up. But I think the whole point was, like, you don't think you're gonna lose. It's a girl, It's a small girl, but then she's like all powerful, and that's what's cool about it. But it doesn't make any sense. But that was one of the aliens that like actually was a unique alien design, not just a human with a different head.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so she arm wrestles him. Obviously, she wins, but they're not too happy because she wins a little too much and snaps his hand like backwards. Yeah. And then they fight, and you get like, I think this is where they were kind of saving budget because most of the fight is just Ruby hiding and stuff happening in the background.
Yeah. Initial thoughts when I saw that, I was like, okay. I was like, this is definitely like the needle drop James Gunn-esque scene. And then it wasn't because you don't have the visuals. And I'm like, okay, either this is a lack of cinematography like budget, and obviously there's a ton of CGI in that scene, but we saw it done in No Sleep Till Brooklyn and Guardians 3, so we know it can be done. But
there's a needle drop like every 5 minutes in this movie.
It really, like, that soundtrack's got to be like it's doing numbers. It's got every song from the 80s and 90s in it. But yeah, so like I initially was like, okay, well maybe like that is kind of a cool directorial choice to just like focus on her. But that is a good point. It probably is just because they couldn't afford to show this entire fight.
Yeah.
Which they probably could.
And there are good fights in this movie, but just that's not necessarily one.
Right. That's not worth it either.
Yeah, true. So the whole point of that scene, honestly, or no, she finds a couple. Okay, so first I see Lobo. That's where you get introduced to Lobo.
Yeah.
And cool. He's funny. He's cool. Exactly like the books. Great casting. So then he goes off and he reveals that he's also looking for the brigands. Yeah, the brigands. He goes off, and then Supergirl finds this couple, and they're like, "We got you." And so then they take her back to their home, and this is the first scene that's like the first amazing scene in the movie, which is where Supergirl talks with Ruthie, and they're laying down, and she's saying that revenge is just not good. It's just not good for your soul. Like, it's just not going to help you out. It's not going to make you feel great. And then Ruthie's like, "So what's up with you?" And she's like, "Okay, I'm not from Earth." And then you get the Krypton flashback, and you get the destruction of Krypton, but they took this one, Argo was the name of the city, maybe. And then they lift it up, and that saves it. You get a cool shot where Kal-El is getting sent off, and they mention that Jor-El is evil, and he's like, "Well, that's his tyrant son that he's sending out."
Yeah.
And so
the sweet little boy who they said would conquer worlds, which thankfully, because James Gunn came out and basically like retconned the fact that well, I don't know about retcon, but like confirmed the fact that the transmission was true. So they did change the original canon, which was totally fine, because James Gunn said that like, "Hey, this is what we changed," and in this movie makes that confirmed in canon. Which I feel like some people wouldn't even like. I do genuinely feel like they needed to do that in like universe, because if they didn't, then people would still headcanon and be like, "Oh no, it was just a failed transmission."
Yeah, true. So, and then you get a really cool shot where he basically puts this shield around the city that lifts it up. And since it's like there's minutes till the world blows up, like people just don't get into the into the thing, and it just smacks on some people, and some people just don't make it. Like, it was literally just, here's the city, I'm pressing the button, I hope some people can make it inside the bubble.
Yeah.
So it makes it out, and that city lasts for, I guess, like 15 to 20 years, considering how old Kara, because Kara's born after that, 5 months after. And she grows up there, but eventually the planet just, a city can't sustain itself, and there's kryptonite on it or something, and people start dying.
Basically the planet exploding exposed the kryptonite that was like buried in the core, and that rose up to the soil somehow.
That makes sense.
And then everyone got cooked.
People start dying. So then her mother dies, and her father, as he's, on his last legs, he's getting sick. He sends Kara away, and Kara doesn't even want to go. She's like, "I just have no world other than this. I don't care if I die." But he's like, "No, you're gonna live because I love you," basically. And there's a really good line, which is kind of the whole point of this summarizes Supergirl as a character that she gets from her mom before she dies, where it's you need to be good. That doesn't mean you always have to be nice. That doesn't mean you always have to be like happy or whatever, but you just have to be good. You have to make the right decisions, and even if you're living with, and this is the point of the whole movie, is even if you're living with that darkness and that depression with your whole life, and it makes it difficult to control how you feel about things and how you act. You can always still make the choice to be good internally and to still make those right decisions ultimately.
Yeah.
And which is a great lesson, by the way, and
Yeah, in
especially just
general.
perfect for the Supergirl character. And that's the highlight of the movie for me. Those
Yeah.
scenes and that lesson, how she applies that to Ruthie. Anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like, it's funny because it's very very contradictory to, or like it's the antithesis of Superman's parents and like what they gave him, where they're like, yeah, you're gonna go and you're gonna conquer this planet and they're gonna
Don't get
serve you
bitches.
and you're gonna have a secret harem. Also, side note, I really didn't understand this in the movie, but like I don't know why Supergirl is also on Krypton, but she doesn't feel anything. Everyone's getting sick but her. She's totally fine. Like she is not experiencing it.
I think in my head as I was watching that, I thought it was because she was born after, but then they never
Mhm.
addressed it, so I forgot that was my own thoughts.
I mean, she's still kryptonite sensitive. Like
Yeah.
there was really no explanation as to why everyone was sick but her.
Yeah, the only thing I could think that would make sense is just because she's young, but not that she's invincible to it, but she just hadn't gotten sick from
Right.
it yet, and she's
I
young,
mean,
and
yeah, I
maybe,
guess.
well,
That's
maybe
probably the only thing.
better immune system. Well, no, I don't know. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It's a movie. Anyway,
Yeah,
worst movie ever. That's like the
honestly.
type of thing you'd find on threads from a Snyder cultist.
Yeah. How is Supergirl not getting sick from the kryptonite? Superman, Henry Cavill's Superman would absolutely get sick from the kryptonite. This is why we need to restore the Snyderverse.
What is? Oh my gosh! I'm trying to remember this crazy tweet that was like, oh, it's whenever Jason Momoa signed on to be Lobo, and it was like, "You're a traitor. Fuck you, you stupid son of a bitch!" in all caps. Do you remember that?
No, but I think it's so funny that people think that Jason Momoa would actually ever in a world say, "No, I don't want to play the character I've always wanted to play that I got declined to play so that I can play Aquaman. I'm gonna stay loyal to my failed franchise, Aquaman. Awful movies."
Clutch search engine. So the picture is, maybe I could get this on here. So it's Jason Momoa as Lobo, then Aquaman. Zack Snyder just says traitor in all red, and it reads, "You give the middle finger to the fans by accepting that traitor role, Jason. Well, the fans, the true DC fans, are giving you back the same finger, you fucking son of a bitch." with a bunch of bleep emojis and middle finger emojis.
Oh, it's so funny. Like the kind of people typing this stuff, at whatever hour of the day, probably like 1 p.m.
You fucking son of a bitch.
Like
hashtag
I'm
boycott.
just trying to imagine like knowing someone in real life that actually is like that and has that kind of reaction to anything outside of their life. Like getting upset because your trash ass franchise has a someone who jumped ship. Is he mad at the entire Suicide Squad cast?
That's really good. That's a clip. Anyway,
Clip that.
Clip that. I will tomorrow.
Shut this guy up.
Shut the and clip that. So, where was I? What were we talking about?
Supergirl.
Oh yeah.
We were talking about Lobo showing up.
Oh no, we're talking about the Krypton stuff. Krypton stuff, great. Anyway, she gets sent off, and so they poison Supergirl to get their daughter back because you find out that these brigands have like a harem, bunch of girls. Gross, yuck, gross girls. The TF, underage girls. So they're real bad. The enemies are bad. The antagonists are bad for
the girls aren't bad.
No, they're not. They're minors. Anywho,
oh well, yeah.
Krim pulls up, smacks Supergirl, and she's like, "She's not dead. I'm gonna kill your kid because you were supposed to bring me a Supergirl dead, and I was supposed to give you your kid back." So this whole time you're kind of thinking like, "Oh, the kid's gonna survive because it's a movie. It's a freaking, it's a movie." And so whenever the girl starts running away from Krim, you're like, "Oh." But eventually after a pretty cool fight scene with
You're like, oh shoot, man! I really wanted to see her get domed.
yeah, because I genuinely sat there and I thought, okay, she's running away, whatever. It's a movie.
Yeah.
But anyway, you get a good Supergirl fight scene with Lobo. You get Lobo's first fight scene. He's on his motorcycle. He's having fun. Supergirl and him are fighting.
Yeah.
Great scene. Cool. Fun. And this is the first ugly planet, by the way. Everything up until this moment is actually really good looking, but you spend a lot of time here. But I wouldn't say this planet is a problem. We'll get there. So Krim eventually kills. He grabs the kid, and then the parents pull up. And you're like, what's gonna happen? He kills both the parents, so I'm already like, damn. And then he still kills the kid.
Holds the kid up for a long enough time that you would expect Supergirl to come in and save it again, because he has a tendency to spend a lot of time like playing with his food type deal that a lot of villains do. That's usually a pretty annoying trope in a movie. But he does it here, and then nope, she doesn't show up. You see him kill her in an alley and drop her. That was
after
it was
killing her
genuinely
parents in front of her.
Yeah, like it was one of the most powerful like villain like kill moments that I've seen recently. I thought that was an amazing decision to be like, yeah, we want you to really feel this guy's like evil, and I just thought that was like that happened, and it was one of those like really satisfying evil moments where it's like, okay, you want this villain to actually be awful, and he is, because you get to see that right there, and it's like, wow.
Yeah, they had balls for that.
Yeah, they did.
So,
unlike that one guy that's at the front of the bus, because he doesn't have an engine or balls.
True.
Whatever that meant.
And that one person that Supergirl or that Crypto just freaking crotch bit. That guy
true.
Anymore. That's pretty bad. So then basically Ruthie is about to jump on Krim and kill Krim, and Supergirl's like, no, because she doesn't want the kid to be fucked up. So she tackles Ruthie, and that's how Krim is able to track them down. Then Krim escapes, and they kind of capture Lobo off screen, and Supergirl and Ruthie are arguing because Ruthie's like, nope, I want to kill. And she's like, nope, that's bad. Which is, again, just, I'm repeating myself here, but that's good like writing, but it doesn't help build the relationship between the characters when that's the only thing they talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But like good scene, good morals, good everything. So then Kara gets pissed. She goes up, she screams into the void because she saw that family get slaughtered kind of because of her or something she couldn't stop.
Yeah.
And so she's pissed. She goes back down. She's like, all right, we're gonna cook. So she gets in the bus as Ruthie, like you mentioned, sneaks on the cargo, the hold or whatever she's doing. And then Supergirl gets on the planet, steps outside the planet, and this is the other big problem. You can have one ugly looking planet for a movie like this, but whenever you have two back to back and they're the planets you spend the most time on, then you forget that the first half of the movie was spent on cool space planets, and now you're like, okay, this is just an ugly movie.
Yeah.
Or ugly environment for a movie, especially again because the comic is notably gorgeous. And so she steps out, then the green sun just spins, and so she just passes out because apparently in the DCU, which is fine by the way, it's just I have never heard of this. This isn't canon to DC at all. This is made up. It's fine though, like it works.
It's all made up. It's
just made as this fiction.
What is this fiction?
It's not like it's not real. It's not real like the comics. So she basically starts dying because the green sun basically has a kryptonite-esque effect. So Ruthie drags her in, and this is where you get the flashback where she lands on Earth, and Clark gets her. Just that's another good scene. Oh, they kind of posted that scene though. I wish they hadn't, because I've seen that scene like 3 or 4 times because they posted it last week. But yeah, Clark's fun. Love him. Obviously, he helps Kara out, and he's like, you get to see that comparison that Kara had previously mentioned where he didn't witness the worst, so he's all happy, he's all jolly. He's like, do you know Kansas? I thought that was funny. But and we didn't mention this, he's trying to call her the whole movie and ask her to come back to Earth because I don't know, that's kind of representing some of the flaws of Clark Kent as a character, where like he's good to a fault where he doesn't understand what's going on, and stuff like that, and that people are different. He's like, nah, you're gonna love Earth. It's like, well, maybe she won't. So yeah, she's passing out. She's
Gets
having
up every morning that he has depression, looks in the mirror, and is like, chooses to be happy.
Yep.
Which is what you're supposed to do, by the way, if you're ever sad.
That's true. Do your best to choose and ultimately get your joy from God, because it doesn't come from us, because we have really shitty hearts and really shitty souls.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And I would also like to say I don't have anything to say. I really thought something would come to me after I said that, but nothing came up.
Act 3, Hope Core.
Act 3. Welcome to Act 3.
Yeah, no one's gonna get that. Anyone here seen Scream 6?
Anyone here seen that god awful
Scary movie.
6? Anyone seen it? Nope.
Anybody?
Right. It's because no one who watches Peak also watches Scary Movie 6.
Comment down below if you saw Scary Movie 6.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the flashback scene with Clark, and that's really good character work. That's the other scene you get of actually good character work with Supergirl. Those are the two outstanding scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
She's passed out. Ruthie saves her. Ruthie gets captured. She's captured next to Lobo. She escapes. And then this is where you get everything past this point, except for like one scene, by the way, is bad. And everything up to this point was pretty good and really fun. And now everything else we're about to talk about, I would honestly say it's almost all bad, except for one 10 to 30 second, one like 30-second scene. She frees Lobo. She goes up to the top of the thing. They're all just standing on top of the ship. It's in the trailers. She's gonna kill Krim. Krim stops her, and then Supergirl shows up, and it's the most. I felt nothing. She's in front of the sun. She's put the suit on. It's all hype. I felt nothing because there was no connection between what she was just experiencing in her flashbacks and what she's choosing to do now. This is always what she was going to choose to do. She was going to stop her from killing Krim. Nothing changed. Felt nothing.
Like a paralytic getting bit by an ant.
Exactly. And it's ugly.
And it's ugly. And it's ugly.
I actually, what's the line? There were a lot of lines like that.
And she's ugly.
There were a lot of really corny one lines, but one that I actually liked was whenever Lobo was on the ground. Like, you're that bitch from the bar. That's what I've been saying about you, which is funny because it's Lobo.
Yeah, he said, wait, are you that
bitch from the bar?
Oh no, that dick from the dive bar.
No, he says bitch. That's why it's funny.
Oh, I thought he said
No, it's funny because he says bitch and then she's like,
holy,
"How are you?" So it's
I'm
funny.
such a poser. I didn't actually watch this movie. I watched this movie with my eyes closed. I wasn't actually there.
Supergirl LARPer. So she's there. You get some pretty triumphant music, I guess, and then Lobo pulls up and they're just fighting, and then all of a sudden Krim pulls out some kryptonite arrows, shoots him in Supergirl, and then Lobo shows up long enough for her to just pull them out of her body, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know how that worked.
I didn't care about any of this. It was really ugly.
Yeah, Lobo. Like the thing is, though, Lobo's saving the day because that's kind of how it was in Superman, where someone comes in and saves the day, which is fine. Yeah, but I didn't understand. Like, Supergirl gets hit by a kryptonite arrow, and then it's like, when I pull it out now, I'm fine. And I guess it's just because of the yellow sun. But
yeah, I guess.
Then she continues to fight for like a few more minutes with one in her, like still in her thigh or something. And I'm like, why didn't you just take that one out? Like just smurfing for no reason.
Yeah, it was weird. And it's ugly scene.
Mm-hmm.
And
very gray.
Yeah. But then the part that I did like is eventually Lobo grabs Krim because he had talked with Ruthie in the cells, and he's like, "No, let her get her revenge." And he throws Krim off to the cable that Ruthie is hanging on. And this is where I care about it because it's character dynamics and the plot and the point actually shown through visuals, and so it's just them two down there.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're wondering what she's gonna do, and it's cool because that's where the heart of the movie is, in these characters and this decision, in this, in the whole point of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't care about the ugly fights going on. But then Supergirl gets on this like tank or whatever, and it starts sinking.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's fighting there. And as the giant ship is crashing, because Lobo just blew it up, Ruthie and Krem jump off. And I really wish that everybody else except for them died, because then it would be an interesting dynamic and you would have an interesting plot. But no, then his freaking his goys come up and they surround what's her face, Ruthie, and like a motorcycle gang thing. Meanwhile, Supergirl is drowning, and then this is the only good part in the third act. She blasts out with the laser vision. She goes up into the sky. It looks really good. There's a good score. And then she goes and tackles because Ruthie's about to fight Krem. She doesn't want Ruthie to do that for the millionth time, or doesn't want Krem to kill her. Tackles Krem, does like a freaking 18 spins, slams him on the ground, and drags him across the thing and like speed blitzes him like in Eternals. That was so cool. Mm-hmm. That's the only good part of the third act. I was so hyped during that. And then I thought there might be some good character work.
Yeah, I feel like wrong. I feel like if they would have just killed off all the goons, pulled the Stranger Things, where it's just the named characters only in that final scene, then it kind of would have felt like the the only part of Furiosa that I like, which is that final sequence with Dementis and Furiosa.
But not ever remembered his name. Good job.
Yeah. Good job. Amazing performance by Chris Hemsworth. Throwback to 2023. 4. Yeah. Yeah, because that was like the only highly appraised movie that year, besides Dune 2. But
Wicked.
Anyway.
Krem.
But yeah, I feel like I also agree they could have had a little bit better. It would have felt more powerful if it was just them for that time. But it would have been like an identical sequence to Furiosa. Even though the vibe is kind of there for that with the motorcycles going around and everything. It was like, okay, this is going full Mad Max
environment.
But yeah.
Yeah, so then Supergirl does the Mortal Kombat finisher on him, and that's really cool. But then she goes back to Ruthie, and you get the worst needle drop. Every needle drop in this movie has been good, and then the main one, terrible.
It's
one of the worst needle drops I've ever seen.
It's a girl covering the middle by Jimmy Eat World, and it's really weird because that is an iconic song that everyone's heard before. And it's like, it's just kind of like the same thing at the beginning of Black Widow, where you have Nirvana covered by a woman because it's a female movie. So it's like a cool little gimmick there. I didn't think I thought it was cool in Black Widow, but I didn't think it was cool here. I thought the song was pretty stupid.
I think it was badly placed, just bad.
Yeah,
terrible needle
it was
drop.
also like it was like such a weird tone to have. Like it did not match the tone of the scene where it's this final fight.
Not at all.
And then it's like, it just takes some time.
Call Me wasn't even in it. That should have been Call Me. That was like the main, like I associate Supergirl with Call Me because of that fire trailer.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah, I think the reason they chose that is because the lyric. I'm not realizing the lyrics say, "Little girl, you're in the middle of the ride."
I hate whenever.
And the little girl is in the middle of the circle of the motorcycles and they're riding, so it's like she's like in the middle.
I hate when needle drops like match the lyrics with what's going on.
It's so stupid. It's so dumb. You're not supposed to match lyrics. You're supposed to match tone and energy.
Yeah, and if the lyrics match, that's cool. But yeah. Anyway, so terrible action sequence. She defeats all the bad guys, and she's like, "Oh shoot, I gotta go get the wives," which is fair. And that's also a good scene. Whenever she's flying through, and you get really good flying scenes with Supergirl, and so she flies through. She saves the wives. That's great. And then Ruthie is going up, and then Jason Momoa just pulls up on the mountain to watch for no reason after he already left after he blew up the ship, and says one thing. He hits the John Wick. Yeah. Anyway, so this is the worst part, the thing that makes this like, other than quality wise, because of the ugly environment and the bad, like needle drop from a writing standpoint, this is bad. Supergirl's like, Ruthie, don't kill him. Ruthie makes the decision not to kill him. Good job. Supergirl stabs that dude in the throat.
Yeah, it just
Like,
straight up just like
murders him,
executes him.
just slimes him out. And here's the thing. That sucks because that's the whole point of the movie.
Yeah.
And it's not, and up to this point, we've never seen Supergirl kill someone that's like defenseless. Like, she's one of those characters that like doesn't have a no kill rule, but like she's not gonna just go out murdering people for fun. But you know, like if she leaves people drowning at the bottom in that tank, that's whatever. But we've never seen her just straight up execute somebody like that. And so for one thing, it's like, oh, that's weird seeing Supergirl do that, but it's also the entire point of the movie. And the comic, she lets him live because that's the point of her character and her arc with Ruthie.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just go to Jason Momoa, he just goes, yeah, whatever. Yeah, all right, bro. Okay, bro.
Yeah,
just ruin your movie.
Bro's just there watching.
Bro
keeps coming back. It's genuinely like, I don't know who makes more like random, unnecessary to the moment, not to the plot, but unnecessary to the moment returns, Lobo or Krim in this movie, because they both just be showing up like. True.
Krim just walked up into Supergirl's house and shot her dog and dipped.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the moment where I was like, this movie is actually, no, it's the next scene, the goodbye scene.
Yeah, the next scene is terrible.
Worst scene in the movie. Worst scene in the DCU. Worst scene in the DCU.
And that'll probably hold up too, for a bit.
I hope, unless Lanterns.
Yeah.
I'm pretty hyped for Lanterns.
I don't think Lanterns. I feel like this is the kind of scene you would only have in a movie like this.
You're right. I'm really hyped, by the way, for Lanterns and Clayface. I think we got a bright future ahead of us, especially even just for the rest of the year for the DCU. Yeah. I think we're chilling. But so basically she's saying goodbye to what's her fate to Ruthie. You genuinely get the worst dialogue I've heard in so long from a movie that like a big movie like this. She goes, "What happened?" She's like, "I guess this is where I say goodbye."
It's like, and then she stops. She pauses for a moment, and she's like, "I'm really happy I got to know you, Ruthie." Or like, "I'm really happy I met you," or something like that.
I'm living with my aunt.
It's so cliche.
I'm gonna build weapons like my dad.
Oh my god! Oh yeah, she's like, swords. I think I'm gonna stop making weapons like my dad, which makes it with the way she words that makes it sound like she's saying, I think I'm gonna stop making weapons because my dad stopped making weapons, which is just he stopped making weapons because he got slimed
because he died.
Yeah, so weird way to word that, but somehow not even close to the worst line in that sequence.
And on top of that, the green screen is bad.
It is bad.
That's like the cherry on the cake, GIF. Just you have a terrible scene and it looks awful.
It's bad and there's no reason for it to be bad because it's a totally realistic environment. They could have just gone there and shot that scene. Yeah. It's just like a plane.
Like, yeah, and it didn't look bad whenever they were in that environment before, so I don't know why they didn't just shoot that scene while they were there. Why don't they hire me for Warner Bros. Filming schedules? Anyway,
we might be better at this than James Gunn and Peter Safran.
Might be. Excuse me. We're movie critics. We are better.
Yeah, we are the top rated podcast on Spotify and Instagram.
We just blitzed Joe Rogan by 3 billion stars.
Yeah, absolutely dunked our nuts on him.
on that Republican clown. Anyway,
we're all Democrats.
Yeah, because we're Democrats. So you zoom in.
Republicans versus Democrats. Because you see, like if you have DUM, it doesn't have the B, and dumb is spelled with the B. Some people don't know that dumb is spelled with a B, but I do.
Ironic.
Because my cognitive test, I scored higher than they've ever seen before. They've never seen cognitive tests higher than that. I aced it, and they've never seen anything like it.
Smartest. I'm so glad we have a president that's the smartest person alive. Like, wow.
How lucky are we? How blessed are we to be graced with such a royalty?
Yeah.
Maybe he should be the one who directs the Warner Brothers scheduling. Maybe we should start asking him stuff.
after his term is up, he should replace James Gunn.
Yeah.
No, he should go to prison. Anywho, it zooms in on what's her face, and so Supergirl's like goodbye, and then it zooms on her. She goes goodbye with the bad green screen, and then Supergirl's like, you know what? I haven't finished celebrating my birthday yet.
She's like, yay!
And she goes, yes, and runs in there. She's like, not too fast. You're buying.
She said that? Oh, God. I didn't even catch that part. That's so corny.
Oh, you bitch.
Wait, hold on. Four out of 10. I'm bumping it down. Yeah,
so I guess they go
dumb scene.
So I guess they go, and that's where she shoots off in the sky in their ship. And I guess they go party. I guess she brings a 13-year-old or whatever to a bunch of bars. Like, I don't know.
I mean, you gotta learn one way or another. But she's also, because they also try to do like this like really like emotional connection to the term freak out. So whenever she's like, don't freak out, whenever she puts the bubble suit on her, that's supposed to be setting up for the callback towards the end where she's like, is your aunt gonna freak out? And she's like, no, my aunt's not gonna freak out. And that's genuinely, they were going for like a heartfelt moment there. And then they ride off into the sunset.
Just needed more development between them. Needed a longer movie.
Kind of felt like what I would imagine the Marvels, like when I see them, all I could think of is what my, not having watched it, opinion is of Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel, which is not very high level. Like I don't expect
her relationship with Monica Rambeau is way better because those are good when well written and fun and entertaining characters, and Captain Marvel is not.
Captain Marvel sucks.
She's fine in the Marvels, but she's cool in one scene in the game, and she sucks in her own movie. Anyway,
yeah, she super sucks.
Yeah,
but that one guy did see it 216 times, so
I guess it's a good movie.
Yeah, it must be.
That is such a sad man. So what's the Buzz Lightyear thing? He's like, you were a sad, strange little man.
He could have seen like 216 really top-notch movies for a lot cheaper. He could have bought HBO Max for a month and just watched all the movies on there, and you'd have a higher average rating by like 3 stars.
True. So she goes off, and that scene sucks, and then you just never see Ruthie again. All of a sudden, Supergirl is back in Metropolis, finally, which is what Clark has been wanting this whole time. She goes into Clark's apartment, and you get really bad dialogue. My goat, bro. They gave Superman really bad dialogue. He just, at first, it's fine. He's like, oh, you're back. Could have used your help at the last guy. Funny, Lex Luthor almost ripped the planet in half.
Yeah.
And then she's like, sorry, whatever, I was gone. She's like, I'm going to stay. And he's like, and she's like, how does the glad lines go? He's like, I am glad.
She's like, I'm happy I'm home. And he's like, I'm happy.
And then it ends.
Yeah. So what I said earlier was that I think like the vibe I got from that moment, that piece of dialogue from him, was that it has a connection to something relating to Superman's character. However, we don't know what that is. So them doing that line there is completely pointless because we don't, like, you feel the acting, like he's acting as if that has some sort of like significance, like maybe something happened with him in between the movies, but we don't experience that. So like, we don't really know what you're referring to. So it doesn't really have meaning. I do think that, like, I think that we'll see, or maybe they were alluding something in Superman, but I don't think so. So no. We'll see if that's like a reference to a situation, but that line kind of didn't make any sense without context, and we don't have context.
Nope. So, yep, it was really fun and really good until the third act, and the third act sucked.
Third act,
that's what I think. And it's just the Craig Gillespie aspect of his disappointment because I love him and he's good at these movies. And yeah, overall mid, but if you want to
maybe he'll drop the Gillespie cut.
Won't
The
happen.
3-hour hard R rated.
I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, definitely go watch it. Just support the DCU, and Amelia Alcock is a standout, and it's obviously it's worth it overall. It is a positive score. Neither of us hate this movie, but it just ended up mid in the long run because of a terrible third act. But it's a fun first half, and I think you'd enjoy it. So that's it. Make sure to watch and follow our Instagram and our TikTok. Make sure to watch our Instagram and our TikTok, and also our worst letterbox reviews of all time coming out this weekend.
It'll be coming out soon. You better get your popcorn ready and get your seat warmed for it, because we're about to take you on a wild ride that'll turn your socks inside out.
Yeah, but they're pretty bad reviews. We've been looking at them carefully over the last
2 years.
Last 2 years. You can even hear us talk about some of them on our podcast. So
yeah, so some good callbacks. Any of you Act 3 loyalists, you'll get the reference. It'll be like Leonardo DiCaprio with
the yep. All right, make sure to watch that, because we're gonna be having a hater episode, because there's some pretty bad reviews.
Just a lover of good movies. One who loves good movies hates bad reviews.
That's true. Act 3 signing out, y'all. Act right.